Thank you guys for tuning in. We got a host, Fyzee and Sydney from Migrant Money Australia.
The mission of our podcast is to just be a community for people that have come from overseas. We haven't seen too much of this content out there in Australia anyways. And we think by creating this content, we'll be able to form a community which we can be a part of. And I honestly can't remember what our intro was, but I think that's really the gist of it.
So Fyzee and I both came to Australia as immigrants, and we didn't have any support or community. So this is why we're here. We're trying to build that for everyone else. And pretty much the goal for the community, as Fyzee mentioned, is to support each other out, talk about investing, creating wealth, especially when you're in a new country, and to be financially confident, especially when you're learning a new culture, a new language, and you're struggling.
Yeah, for sure. We both came to Australia at a very, very young age. And I think that we've gotten a lot of stories which I think need to be talked about, which obviously we'll talk about in the podcast. But this podcast is going to be season 1, episode 1. And as you guys can see, we are in a brand new studio. And do you have any thoughts about this, Sydney?
Well, it looks more professional, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Because we started recording in my apartment.
Yeah. So if you guys watch the video episodes, you will see it's quite plain, and I think it's important that we have the video of that as well because it shows the progression of what we're doing. And I think season 1, which is I guess the official season you could say, or times where we start to get a bit serious, it'll be good. I think quality matters a lot. So So the first recordings that we did season 0, that we're going to call it that now? Yeah, season 0 I think is good. I was tossing and turning about what to call it, and I think you put it very well. Call it season 0. It's just
very scrappy, unprofessional.
Yeah, and
that's how you start.
Yeah, 100%. And I think there's a lot more improvement to be done, and I think we can do a lot better this time around, especially with the aesthetic improvement. So.
Hey, we're going places. We started with an apartment, and now we are recording in 5 in Parramatta.
Yeah, 5, spelled Phive, new building in Parramatta, which today is actually my first time visiting this building. I'm very impressed. Like, it's actually pretty cool. Seems very well laid out, good color scheme. Can't complain.
All right, let's talk goals for season 1. We got to get some guests. That's going to be the first goal.
Yeah, goals. Yeah, 100%. So I think guest-wise, we probably want to look at least 2 to 3 guests, and we have shortlisted a few people, which if you're part of the finance community, you probably know about. But I guess once we bring them on, you'll see who the guests are. And other goals we have, just want to improve the quality of the podcast and more stories we want to share. What would you say?
I will say we need to probably get involved in doing better conversations. That's going to be a good goal for this year.
100%. Look, I agree. Honestly, I'm not the best at it, like in this format, because I feel like it's way too official. It's not like an informal chat. But I think as we go on with the weeks, I'll get a bit more comfortable. It's been like months since I've done this. So I feel like towards the end of last season.
But you've been recording because you got a YouTube channel, so you've been recording for that, yeah?
Yes.
But it's not the same. I understand that though.
But the funny thing is, with the YouTube channel, people don't realize how much you can engineer it in a way.
So get away with?
Yeah, you can do so many takes. But with podcasts, I feel like for them to be the most authentic as possible, you have to ideally try and do it in one take. And is a very big challenge. It's harder than people realize because when normal people speak, you put in so many filler words. And so it'll be interesting because I feel like right now, it's not the most natural. So over time, we'll see how we go.
We get practice. That's fine. Yeah. All right, let me know. So what's your personal investing goals?
Yep. So look, personal investing goals, eventually I want to be at a point where the investments...
For the year.
For the year. Okay. So let's put it down this year. So I've been investing majority of my income for the past probably year or 2. And this year I want to keep on investing in the stock market. I get paid every fortnightly. So I want to keep on putting... most of my income. So when I say most, it's about 70% that I put away. And full disclaimer, the only reason I'm able to do this is because I live with my parents and my expenses are low. I know it's not a very realistic thing for a lot of people, and I get it. But I think I'm very fortunate with what I've got, and I think I just got to make the most of it. So that is one of the goals. The other thing is to get more comfortable with debt too. So if you would have, we've talked about it, but I took out a loan to invest. I'm not going to mention any products or anything because ASIC is going to be stopping this thing before it even starts. But want to get more comfortable with debt, starting with small amounts. So that's one of the big goals too.
Right. So for me, I reckon this year. So back in 2021, if you recall, I bought my first apartment. So first property in Australia. So I came here in 2008 and then I bought it in 2021. So it took me a good chunk of time, bit of 12 years just to save enough of deposit just to buy a property.
Yeah.
So that's been the fun part there. And then now I'm looking to refinance. As you know, all the drama, interest rates going up for all of last year for 2022, and then 2023, it seems that it's going to keep going up. So looking into refinance. So I'm having fun trying to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Because it's not as straightforward as you think, because you can just go ahead and then just tell the bank, hey, can I refinance?
Not at all, yeah. With the rates being as they are, it's gotten very tough. I mean, people have lost tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands in borrowing power just like that over the last couple of months. So definitely very tough. Are you just I'm assuming you're stuck in limbo at the moment with your refinance situation. You can't really move forward?
Yeah, pretty much currently stuck trying to figure things out, yeah.
Yeah.
Because then when I first bought the property, because I saving for a decade, but then it's a lot of time and it's pretty much hard to do. And then when I bought the apartment, I just saved up a 10% deposit.
Yeah.
So I had to suck it up and then just pay the LMI. But it happens, and pretty much paying rent and the property is pretty much the same. Back then, now it's pretty much I'm better off renting.
Yeah, with the interest costs being where they are. Yeah, for some people, the interest cost has basically doubled if you look at investor rates. So, it's getting pretty insane, and I think it's hard for everyone. I mean, not just the investors or homeowners, but the renters themselves. They're facing huge rent increases. So I think everybody's sort of feeling it, and it's how it is. I feel like it's part of the cycle.
Right, and I reckon the number one goal for the year is becoming the number one investing podcast for immigrants.
Yes, we're putting it out there. Realistically, though, it's good to put it out there. But if you were to give it a chance, percentage-wise, what percentage chance do you think we have to actually get there?
I will say 0, which is good. Because that means we have no expectations. So anything that we get is success. If we get one listener right now, it's success.
Interesting. All right. If I was asked the same question, I would probably say 10 to 15% chance.
I reckon.
Because I feel it. I genuinely do.
I feel bad. I'm very pessimistic. What's happening?
Look, because I look at TikTok and everything quite a lot. The reason why I say this is because we don't see this type of content anywhere in Australia. I guess that's focusing specifically on migrants.
I want to call it representation, to be honest. We don't see that a lot.
Which, exactly, yes. And that plus money focused, right? You might find this type of content, which I have seen on TikTok, but it's not, I haven't seen it that's being focused on finance and money, which I think we can bring a very good perspective in, involving money into it, because let's be honest, it's one of the biggest things that we have to deal with, and it doesn't get talked about enough, especially maybe in our communities, I'm not sure, but those two mixed together is a very good combination. And I think 15% chance to get to the top is good. First, we have to find out who is even at the top of this genre, which I can't name any names, which itself is a good sign, because we might not even be competing with that many people.
Hey, but it's not about competition. We're going to create our own community. That's the goal, pretty much.
100%. But still, we want to be number one. So, I think it's good. Good start.
All right. So, do you have any tips to start investing for immigrants, especially?
Look, at this stage, we would love to do a full episode on this. But if you're just starting out, I think the number one thing would be to get curious about this world and just try to read as much as you can about the world of finance and investing before you jump into it. You don't have to be overwhelmed by it. Take it slow. And I think just the path of curiosity can sort of lead you down to investing. Obviously, you don't want to do too much research where you just have information overload. But I think just getting curious about it is a very good start. And we can go in depth as well later on. What would you say?
I would just add a bit of a note in there, but same, pretty much. You got to learn. So you got to start crawling before you run, especially when it comes to investing, because you get overwhelmed with so many things you can do. But at least the first step should be you saving money and you're doing all the research and learning before you even start.
Yeah.
Chucking your money anywhere that you think, and avoid any scams, please.
Yeah, look.
There's no get rich quick investing that doesn't exist at all, unfortunately.
100%. Look, if 2022 has taught us something, it's that the crypto boys have disappeared. And I think it's time to get real about like long-term sustainable wealth building, not just chucking money into Dogecoin or whatever, and just getting to the moon. So yeah, we talk about it later. But I wanted to sort of reflect on last season 0, which we have done up to episode 5, I think. What would you say overall? How do you feel about it? And overall, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, we finished season 0, so that's a golden start for us.
Yeah, we finished something we started, which, yeah, it's good. I think there's a lot more improvements to be, but yeah, it's a journey which we're committed on. It's
been fun. That's the major thing you can say. It's been fun to actually do it.
Yeah, no doubt. I would love to this season actually dive into some conversations which we don't agree on, because I feel like there's a lot we sort of agree on with investing. We all want to do the long-term wealth building and whatnot, but there are some topics which I'd love to go into, which we just disagree, and that would be a good podcast. So we'll think about some topics that the audience might tell us as well, and we'll get on to that.
All right. In that case, let's go through ending remarks. All right, so our goal is to help every first, second, third generation immigrant in Australia as little and as much as we can, because we did not have this support even when we came to Australia.
It's important that if you are part of this community, you certainly reach out. We're here to help. Send us an email, a DM, join our Patreon community, our Facebook group. And yeah, we would love to, if we can help you out anyway, definitely let us know. Thank you
guys for listening.
And support us on Patreon if you can. Cheers. Thanks.
Bye.